Today's video questions exactly what Donald Trump's role in history is and how it relates to prophecy. Some believe that he is a savior, while others believe he is the Antichrist. How could different eyes see the same person so differently? I often wonder this. In my various videos, I have touched on numerous prophecies and predictions that point to this time in history as being a pivotal shift into a new world of prosperity, advanced technology, and health. We've discussed the movement into Aquarius, the Yuga cycles, the Chinese zodiac, the Aztec messages, and more. One of our members brought up another excellent analogy, which is the Bible. I've read the Bible, but I'm no expert on it, but I do try to live in alignment with several beliefs and philosophies. Please do all the things that help me grow this channel. We hit 1 million views and are approaching 100,000 subscribers, which is a big landmark. So please hit the like button. Tell your friends about this not so little anymore and often censored channel, and let's get this world back on track. If you'd like to further help support the channel, I've chosen various shopping items that I recommend. I have no affiliation with these companies, but YouTube gives me a small commission for products I recommend, which is a nice way to help you in choosing a supplement. My favorite vitamin line is Mega Foods. I use them myself. They are food-based, so there is no chemical extraction residue, and they are very gentle on your stomach. I also use Udo's oil, which is a seed oil that tastes amazing in salads. Or you can add a little to Bragg's vinegar in the morning, which supports the heart, sugar control, digestion, and weight loss. Udo's also has the perfect balance of omega fatty acids. A processed food diet is high in omega-6, which promotes chronic inflammation, increasing the risk of heart disease, arthritis, and autoimmune disorders. The Udo's oil helps offset the omega-6 in your blood. And the super beets taste great and help with getting life-giving oxygen to all parts of your body. Maybe I can choose a couple items each week that I recommend, and we can help you avoid and counteract some of the poisons in the world. Let me know if you'd like a recommendation on anything particular. Lastly, super thanks always help so much, and I have to thank Loyal One Still, Kuthamiku from Germany, BMom51, and Elaine Townsend I5S for your kind generosity. I am blessed. Before I let Jack tell you about the alignments with the Bible, I have to tell you that my response focuses on Jack's question, which is about who's looking over Trump in this dangerous mission that he is involved, and also about a particular Hopi prophecy which aligns with our current situation. So let's listen to the thoughts and questions of our friend at Jackwill 3578.
So who saved Trump's life? Not once, but many times. Trump is a tool. But whose tool? Why was his ear bloody? In the Bible, the concept of blood on the right ear in Leviticus 8:22 and 14:28 serves as a visible mark of consecration, signifying that the person is dedicated to God's service and has been set apart for a specific purpose. This act represents a physical and spiritual transformation, preparing the individual for their sacred role. So there are many questions and not enough answers right now.
You are right about Leviticus and the blood on the right ear. I've heard this in the past. The Hopi prophecy that I'm going to look at in this video is the prophecy of the man in the red hat. But first, let's briefly look at Leviticus. In Leviticus 8:22-24, during the ordination of Aaron and his sons as priests, Moses slaughters a ram, takes its blood, and puts it on the tip of their right ear, right thumb, and right big toe. This act sanctifies them, dedicating their hearing or ears to God's commands, their actions or hands to his service, and their path or foot to his will, marking them as set apart for priestly duties. I'll bet everyone who knew Trump in his younger days in finding the younger Donald anything but priestly. But people change. In Leviticus 14:28, blood is used as part of a cleansing ritual for someone healed of a skin disease such as leprosy. The sacrificial blood and oil is also applied to the same spots, the right ear, thumb, and toe, symbolizing restoration to the community and God's covenant. This practice purifies the healed person for worship. The right side is often tied to strength or favor in biblical imagery. It underscores their full body commitment to holiness. Certainly, this passage would imply a cleansing of President Trump and a commitment to integrity and God. Both rituals highlight blood's role as the sacred seal linking man to divine purpose. I'm getting to a difficult question, and that is whether I think the incident with President Trump was staged or not. What I'm going to say is that I believe you are watching a movie. I will address this further after we now touch on the Hopi Prophecy of the man in the red hat. There's no doubt from a prophecy standpoint that the man in a red hat during this period of time must be Donald Trump. So there's more than blood on the ear. There's also the red hat, so let's briefly look at that. The prophecy comes from the Hopi, a Native American tribe from northeastern Arizona, known for their deep spiritual traditions and oral teachings. I have been to Newspaper Rock and other Hopi archaeological grounds. I was fascinated by the petroglyphs. These were a vibrant, talented, but simple people that were quite spiritual, much more so than the world today. One thread of their prophecies, passed down by elders, speaks of a figure tied to a red hat, red cap, or red cloak. This figure pops up in discussions of a time of upheaval and transformation, a period often called the Great Purification, which is linked to the end of the Fourth World and the shift to a Fifth World of peace and balance. We have been living in the Fourth World, and this shift to the Fifth World is occurring. The man in the red hat is said to signal big changes, either as a harbinger of wisdom that humanity must accept, or a force that could shake things up hard if we don't accept them. The most cited source for this specific prophecy is tied to Thomas Banyatia Sr., a Hopi traditionalist who spoke publicly about Hopi teachings, including a 1992 address to the United Nations. In recordings, he's quoted saying a third figure, marked by a red hat or cloak, would join two others to bring purification to the land. Banyatia described these three figures as leading a powerful, inventive people with a large population, coming swiftly with allies, unstoppable in their mission. Is anything coming into focus yet? If you haven't seen my video on Trump's capitulation tour, I recommend you watch it as further validation of the swift changes underway and who the allies are that are conducting this unstoppable mission. I will link this video in both the description and at the end of this video. The idea behind this trio is that they'd address wrongs such as exploitation of nature and indigenous peoples, restoring harmony. There are some who interpret the prophecy as a cleansing that could get messy first. Banyatia is quoted as saying, "Then the third one that will finally bring about purification of this land would be a man with a red cap, red hat, or red cloak. The people will have much scientific inventions and nothing can stop them." Before the man in the red hat shows up, the prophecy paints a messy picture. The Fourth World's been decaying, ecological chaos such as floods, droughts, and dying trees. Societal rifts such as wars and inequality abound. And there's a tech obsession that's outpaced our ethics. Does this sound familiar? By the way, how many trees died in the LA fires? This pre-Red Hat phase is the build-up to the Great Purification, which is a time when humanity's choices pile up into a tipping point. The Hopi saw this as inevitable. We've dug up the earth, ignored the warnings, and let the zigzag path of chaos overtake the straight path of harmony. Purification is necessary because without it, we just keep spiraling. Think of it as nature's hard reboot to clear the corruption and give the faithful a shot at renewal. First, the man with the red hat. His job is to purify. He is not the one who rebuilds. The Hopi Prophecy speaks of two great helpers joining the man in the red hat before the third shaking of purification. Each of these helpers are marked by symbols and roles that echo Elon Musk and Robert F. Kennedy Jr. The first helper, tied to a sun symbol, leads a powerful, inventive people, fitting Musk's SpaceX and Tesla empire, shaking the world with skybound technology and bold ideas. The second helper is linked to a Celtic cross of lifeblood and aligns with RFK Jr.'s. He is Irish Catholic with deep Celtic roots and is addressing the lifeblood of mankind, our health. Together, the two would amplify the Red Hat's chaos. Rockets piercing the heavens, voices exposing lies, driving the necessary cleanse of a fourth world that has gone astray. The man with the red hat is the third and most significant figure in this trio, joining the two others to shake the world twice. It could be wars, upheavals, or wake-up calls. Everywhere we have already been. Banyatya described the man with the red hat as being tied to a large population with scientific inventions. He's not the true white brother, Pahana, who brings ultimate peace later. But he's a catalyst for the purification, a kicking off of the third shaking or the final cleanse. The purification that he triggers isn't fluffy, it's a reckoning. The prophecy says this third shaking decides it all. Either we get rebirth into the fifth world, a balanced, peaceful era, or it's total wipeout. The red hat guy's role is to force the issue. His people's power and smarts shake us up real hard, nearly destroying everything, until a new generation rises to do it right. I believe some of that generation is here. Post-Red Hat, if we pass the test, the true white brother steps in with stone tablets and a new life plan, ushering in everlasting life. If we flunk, it's game over, annihilation by fire, flood, or worse. So has this cleansing occurred? I think we have a lot to go, but the fires and floods were before Trump, so maybe the worst has passed. The true white brother, or Pahana, is a central figure in Hopi beliefs. He is the ultimate closer after the purification shakes things down. He's not the man in the red hat, but arrives post-chaos to seal the deal for the fifth world. He's called white for his purity. There is no physical description, but the big marker is what he carries. It will be 2 stone tablets, one whole and one broken at a corner. These match tablets that the Hopi kept, given by the Great Spirit way back. Prophecy Rock's petroglyph shows him too, as a figure on the straight path, distinct from the zigzag chaos line, often with a star or sun symbol, hinting he's tied to celestial timing. Is the true white brother from the stars? What do you think? Is it the Holy Spirit? Does this fit in with your core beliefs? The prophecy says it's make or break. There will be fifth world peace if we wise up. Or we'll bust if we don't. Wild, huh? Pahana's arrival is the game changer. After the red hat and his helpers do their third shaking, the purification, floods, quakes, societal collapse has already torched the two-hearted mess. What occurs next depends on us. If we pass the test, the true white brother steps in post-purification, when survivors or one hearts are humbled and ready. He brings the missing tablet corner, reunites it with the Hopi's half, and lays out the new life plan. This ushers in the fifth world, peace, abundance, no disease, a return to harmony with nature. Banyatya called it everlasting life, where technology and spirit align, not clash. Think gardens blooming, skies clearing, like the utopia after the storm. If humanity clings to greed even after the Red Hats shake up, Pahana still shows up, but it's curtains. The prophecy warns of annihilation. Fire from above, earth swallowing us. No fifth world. This is what we know about Pahana. He is not extraterrestrial, but a humanish figure with divine backing. Humanish? Have any thoughts? Pahana is not a shaker, he's the restorer. His tablets hold instructions for the fifth world, maybe laws or technology lost to time. There is no specific date like March 2025. It's when the earth is torn asunder and the faithful are left. We've made it this far, guys, and I think we are on the right track. Whatever unfolds next, please realize that it is necessary for mankind's survival. Every shakeup, every shift in vibration carries meaning by cosmic design. For those who aren't able to see the patterns yet, ask yourself, how many coincidences before the impossible proves true? Now I'll also address Jack's question as to whether Trump is a tool or not. I don't know which video it is, but I mentioned in one of them how I learned about all this, so please excuse my repetition. Back in 2015, Steve Pick-Senek reported that Donald Trump was chosen by an elite group of intelligence agents to serve as commander-in-chief for an operation to take down the deep state. Trump accepted. Mainstream media, like Wikipedia, paints Steve as a conspiracy theorist. However, the man is a genius in psychological warfare and has worked as a high-level government official for decades, so I can't dismiss him. Anyway, he told us back in 2015 that Trump would run for president on behalf of this group. Another thing that Steve said back then was that Trump was not their first choice, but he didn't know who it was that declined the offer to be president. Now that things are unfolding, I'm wondering if it was Elon Musk. He sure seemed to change his humanitarian focuses after that time and began to remove himself from dealings with alleged deep state assets like Microsoft. And he sure is making a selfless contribution to the cause. Like Trump, he didn't need this crap like Obama, Harris, and the rest of them. Both Trump and Musk were about as immune to bribes as anyone could be. They didn't need to sell their souls for money or fame. Theirs was self-made. 2 years after Piechnik said this, Q was born, which remains a very cryptic blueprint for the plan to take back our world, for people that were considered conspiracy theorists. Q is allegedly comprised of a group of people, including high-level intelligence and military. Get the similar description? I believe Q is close to the Earth Alliance or perhaps is leading it. Or maybe Q is just a group that are spokespersons for the operation. Trump has been seen at rallies on numerous occasions writing the letter Q in the air, which gives Q and what Steve said 2 years before additional validity. We don't know who is Q, only that it isn't one person. There has been a lot of speculation, but the movement has been tight as a drum on disclosing anyone. I have never heard any legitimate leak regarding anyone in Q. I can tell you that a lot of things that they have predicted have come true, and I believe that some sort of military intelligence is behind it. I did a video on level Q clearance also, that will be linked. Now you tell me guys, we've got the man with the blood on his right ear in Leviticus, which signifies a cleansing of a man who is in service to the Lord. We've got the three men, one who shakes up the world, one who wows it with technology, and one who's Celtic and healing the lifeblood. That's the one that blows my mind. But we're not done yet. We have the mystifying Q with its predictions of a silent war and predicting or highlighting events that we should watch. And we can't forget Trump's many air cues on this one. There is no doubt he is sending a message. Sadly, Trump will not be the one to bring in the great era of change. There is no doubt in my mind that Q has used artificial intelligence to analyze all of the ancient predictions of various civilizations and beliefs. I would venture to say that they know about both Leviticus and the man with the red hat. How many times has Trump mentioned the Golden Age, which is Hindu prophecy? They know, guys, and this is some outer limit stuff going on. I often speak of the sophistication of this plan. For those that don't know, Q is wrought with numerology riddles. It's very difficult to follow in depth, and there is a man who goes by the name Gene Decode who's excellent in decoding the gematria if you are into numbers. So is Trump a puppet? I think that lessens his significance. Trump has been chosen to do exactly what he's doing: shake up this world and cleanse it of the corruption. Trump's mission is nearly over, and he knows it. I don't believe there will be another term. I think that our warrior has done his job and it's time for a rest. The interesting notion is, who is the true white brother? I don't know, but when he appears, I pray that we are ready. Until next time, remember that the cycle of struggle is nearing its end, giving way to a new age of peace and rebuilding.